Hey everybody! Happy Thursday afternoon. It's nice and warm here in Ontario. We actually got the windows open. Finally. Finally. So what's so funny?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. So we're kind of here today. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what does good health look like. We all know exactly what bad health looks like. It's really, really easy to see that in society right now, and everyone's telling you what you should be doing for good health, but there's a lot of stuff that's being missed out, and I think we're just sharing. We've been doing this for a long time, a lot of this good health stuff, and we just thought it'd be a good idea to come on and share again what we do on a regular basis to help us out.
We're just going to share what's worked for us, and if it
Yeah.
helps you, great. And if you don't want to do it, then we hope you're entertained.
Yeah, and you know what, honestly, this hasn't been something we were like one day we just wake up and we're going to do all these things today and everything's going to be perfect. And it's been a process.
Yeah.
Like what? You started oils how long ago?
7 years ago, but we've been like on a health journey for at least 15 to 20 years,
Yeah.
but really intense in the last like 14.
And some of the things we've dropped along the way.
Yeah. So here's our best tips. Okay. So we're just going to go through some of the prime areas and the things that we did that were really helpful. So let's talk about food.
Yeah.
If you try to switch out every bad thing that you eat overnight and eat all good the next day and just do that, you will fail, because it's really hard. And I've always found it to be easier to start incorporating healthy things first, get to like them, get to know them, see how your body reacts, and then slowly start eliminating the bad stuff. So it'd be like easy switches, like sparkling water is a great alternative to pop, and that has artificial sugars in it, which is really, really bad for your body. If you like sweets, we love Ningxia Red. So this is like, for me, this helps curb the sweetness appetite that I get. It's almost like a dessert, but this is like a multivitamin for me, and it supports my entire body. So you see us post about Ningxia all the time.
Cheers.
It's awesome. So when I mix the two together, it tastes amazing. So that would be good instead of like a sugary drink or a chocolate bar or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that we don't eat that stuff. Like he eats chips every
You know what?
day.
And that's what I was going to say. Like some things for me are non-negotiable. You know, I'm not giving up my chips.
Right.
I'm not doing it.
But like I won't put aspartame and artificial sweeteners in my body, and I won't eat there's certain processed foods that I won't eat, and certain colorants I won't put in my body, and
Yep.
you know, so we try to eat whole foods. So I eat the food as God intended it and grew it. Like I love fruit that is sweet, right? And I would much rather eat that. So I found at Costco, and I think there's a Coco Locos, and somebody else said it, No Frills maybe has it. There's like chocolate hummus that literally tastes like a chocolate dip. You don't even realize you're eating hummus.
I think it's dangerous because you could eat
I mean,
so
you can
much
still
of it.
get fat from eating
Yeah,
too much,
but-
right? But also, it's a good healthy alternative if you're craving that. So, you know, and if you know your hormones and you know like for me, when I'm craving sweets, it is usually during PMS. My hormones are going crazy, and if I don't feed the dragon, there's going to be problems. So everything in moderation.
And
okay?
usually for me, like when I start to crave stuff, it's at night, 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock after I've had my last meal. I start to crave something sweet or something crunchy. So I know, and this happens almost all the time.
So this leads into maybe you're not drinking enough water too, because
Yep.
usually your brain's telling you you're hungry when you're actually thirsty. There's a disconnect there with our bodies. So making sure you're drinking enough water every day, and like you have to measure your water or you have no idea. So some people will have multiple bottles. Like I drink out of this, and I know I need about 4 of these a day. And that's good. And so I have water in my Ningxia, and that's part of it. I also drink coffee every day. If you're drinking caffeine, if you have a job or you're very physically active, or you're drinking alcohol, or you're in the sun and you're sweating, then you need more water. So you have to compensate for that. But, you know, try drinking water about a half an hour before it's time to eat or so, like as you're preparing your meal or whatever. And that usually will fill you up so that you don't overeat. Because remember, your stomach's like this big. That's it. So if you have this massive plate of food, you're stretching your stomach and you're training your body to overeat. And that is a big problem for me. I weigh and measure all my food, because if I don't, my eyeballs are bigger than my stomach. and it takes about 20 minutes for your tummy to tell your brain that it's full. So overeating is like a big problem, like this supersizing everything. Like even when you go to a restaurant, that's not a normal size meal. That's a good 2 to 3 meals sometimes worth of food that we're getting. So just, kind of watching that.
We kind of started with food because anything else after that, if you don't make a good dent with your food, anything else that you're going to do after, probably not going to help you.
Yeah, it's about 80% food, 20% everything else. So, and this isn't a video on how to lose weight, because losing weight doesn't mean you're healthy either. There's times in my life where I was super, super thin and I wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
So, healthy is feeling good, having energy, sleeping well, your skin looks good, you're happy, you're not feeling stress, you're not obese and overweight, like all these things. And so, it takes work.
Your body will produce the most amount of energy it can with even with the crappiest food you give it. But the better food you give it, the more energy and the more operative it's going to run. So you got to try and feed it healthy food as many times throughout the day.
The number one thing when you want to get healthy and you want to feel better and you're just kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired is you need to commit to this and know that it's going to get hard. But even when it gets hard and even when you want to quit, because you will, like probably weekly, maybe daily, you'll be like, why am I doing this? We set ourselves up for failure because we set unrealistic expectations. So when you set an expectation, you're actually setting yourself up for failure. So a realistic goal would be something that's actually measurable, it's attainable, it's smart, you can actually do it. So if you're saying, I want to lose 5 pounds a week, to lose like 30 pounds in a month, you can do that, but you will gain it back threefold and you will not feel good. So, and skinny doesn't mean you're happy either. I've been like the perfect weight for my height and all that stuff, and I was miserable. And like I feel good now, so just
I know for me when COVID started, I started eating pretty crappy, and I knew it. I knew I was making bad choices. And about halfway through, I'm like, oh, I do not feel good. I don't like the way I'm looking right now.
I watched this lady on TikTok that's like, so when COVID hit, I decided I was going to do this whole weight loss journey. And she goes, I started taking all these before photos, but what I realized was I was making this like slideshow of me just getting fatter. Which has probably happened to a lot of people. I've gone up and down a good 20 pounds up and then down and then up during COVID. So,
and that's one of the things with the food is you have an inner knowing of what, especially if it's bad food, that you know that you shouldn't be eating it.
So our tips for eating healthy would be buy whole foods. Stop buying the food that's crappy that is not good for you. If it's in your house, you will eat it.
Yep.
You'll eat it out of like feeling like, oh, I spent the money, I need to eat it, or it's going to taunt you. Like, I don't like chips, so I have no problem with him having all the chips. But if I like chips, there would be a serious problem in our house. I love popcorn, so keep the popcorn out and chocolate. Any like sweets, just don't even get me started now. I want it, but I love fruit, so I make sure there's lots of fruit in the house and lots of vegetables. So like I'll grab cooked edamame, or I'll grab like fresh asparagus because it's crunchy and it actually tastes good if you have it with guacamole or with hummus or something like that. So you can have those healthy things. I also love yogurt, but you have to watch the sugar content in yogurt. So we buy stuff that has low sugar, no natural sweeteners or anything like that in there. And then a lot of nuts. So here's like a little tip. On our table, we always have walnuts to crack and mixed nuts or almonds here. And we keep our nuts and seeds in the fridge or freezer when they're not being used because they can go rancid really quick. But we keep this out on the table because when our kids are hungry or when we want a snack, we'll reach for nuts instead of junk. And it's just better, right? So like having a handful of nuts every day. Stop being so disgusting. Having a handful of nuts.
I just want to see how many times you can say nuts.
These nuts, not these nuts. These nuts every day is good for your brain. It's good for your body. Awful. And then supplementation is important because we usually can't get what we need out of our food. So Y'all know what our business is.
That's right.
And if you don't, I'm going to tell you, Young Living Essential Oils, but it's a lifestyle company, so we have the best supplements. Listen, I have done so much research on supplements because when I was competing and I was in the whole fitness industry, it is not a health industry. It's a look good and doesn't matter what it takes to get there kind of industry, unfortunately. But I loved doing it because I learned so much about my body and so much about health. And through that, I learned so much about supplements. So we have the best supplements. They're full of essential oils, which cleans your body at a cellular level, so your body's absorbing more of the goodness. But it fills in the gaps that you're not getting in your food. It's almost impossible nowadays by the way our food's grown and produced, and our eating habits. Unfortunately, we just aren't getting what we need. So things like Ningxia, that's a supplement. This fills in the nutritional gaps.
Yep.
Ningxia for life. Like if we could only buy one product for the rest of our lives from Young Living, that is it. That's
I
what we
grew
talk
up with
about
my
it.
mom would buy all the supplements for us from the grocery store because that's what she knew.
And you're just wasting your money. I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
right now. If you think it's cheap and it's better because it's cheap, or you see it advertised on Amazon all the time or whatever, it's crap. You're flushing your money down the toilet. It's not doing what you think it does. And like just trust me on that. I've done all the research.
Like my dad used to say, like, go buy the supplements because we're going to need it, but don't spend a lot of money. Right? And that was...
But when you have good supplementation, you feel
Yeah.
better, which means you're not spending money on medications and you're not wasting time in the doctor's office, and
Yep.
you feel good, which means you're happier, and like, isn't that what we want? Like, I just want to feel good.
Yeah.
So the next thing is cleaning chemicals. The number one thing I help people with in my business is hormonal problems. Most things are hormones, digestive, or like liver issues. So hormones would be number one. Hormones are affected by chemicals. Guys, if you are still using conventional chemicals in your house, knowing that you have a cheaper, healthier alternative, what is wrong with you? I'm just gonna get real here because I just can't believe, like, I'm like, it's 2021, number one, I'm sorry, if you get offended, like, that's a choice, okay? If you're smoking, why? How do you not know smoking is bad for you? Okay, like, you can quit. We used to both smoke. I grew up on a tobacco farm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to say, my dad's in the business of killing people and I saved their lives with essential oils, and it always made them laugh. But it was true, right? It's like there's so many chemicals in it. So cleaning chemicals wreak havoc on your body. Candles wreak havoc on your body. If you think that you need to have an artificial scent in your house to have a clean home, you are absolutely falsely informed. There's no need for it. If you feel like crap in any way, shape, or form, it's probably side effects from your cleaning chemicals.
My mother was the plug-in queen.
Oh my God, we had plugins in every single outlet in this
Everywhere.
house when we first moved
We
in.
thought it was okay. We didn't know any better.
Because now, what are they saying? They're like, oh, they're scented with essential oils.
Yeah.
This is like the new greenwashing, okay?
Yeah.
If you're not buying Young Living essential oils, you need to talk to us because they are the best in the world. There is a reason there's a reason why essential oils are so big now. Young Living is the company that started it all. Gary Young is the guy that brought essential oils into North America. There's a reason why every other company compares themselves to Young Living. They've been around for 27 years. And they know what they're doing. They have perfected it, and you can't get better quality anywhere else. And if you think you can, let's talk, because I would love to educate you, because I didn't know there was a difference.
What I love about this stuff right here is that, like, if for some reason my kids were stupid enough and they drank it, we wouldn't have...
with their babies, I mean, you're
Well, yeah.
worried, and you have locks on the cabinets.
But if you got young kids, then you don't got, like, my kids are now, they're 10 and up to 16. I'm not worried about them doing this, but younger kids, absolutely. If they got into this stuff and they took a good mouthful of it,
We got to call poison control. And like, I'll
not
tell
with
you.
this.
No, not with that, with chemicals. With
Yeah.
that, we don't have to worry. And
Yeah.
this one bottle replaces every single cleaner in your house. And it costs $1 a bottle. So it's 1 to 2 capfuls in a bottle like this. That's it.
Easy.
And it's safe for every surface in your house. So using chemicals, you might think, oh, it's not a big deal. Listen, the rates of cancer have gone up exponentially. 2 out of every 4 humans now have cancer. And this is stuff we're doing to ourselves.
That's insane.
It's insane,
stats.
50%,
Insane.
and I think it's just rising and rising.
Yeah.
And now with COVID and the excessive amount of chemicals that are being used, in 10 years from now, we are going to be seeing, not even, I think
Yeah.
2 to 5 years, we're going to see an insane amount of sickness happening in our children especially. So please, for the love of God, if you're not using thieves, please reach out to us so we can help you. Because at the end of the day, we do this because we care. Okay, the whole reason we got into all this stuff is because it made such a huge impact on our life, and we know we can help you. And it saves you money. So if you care about your health, you care about the environment, you care about saving money, we got you.
What else does good health look like?
Exercising. Okay, so let me tell you, like, you can reduce the risk of cancer by 80% by just going for a brisk walk for 20 minutes every single day. And guess what? It's free. So here's the thing. We get a lot of people that are like, I'm suffering with this, sleep, skin, digestive, la, 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 la. Are you guys doing the things that are free? Drink enough water, get enough sleep, eat whole foods, and ditch the chemicals, and exercise.
Exercise it's free, but people don't do it because it's difficult.
It gets hard. I don't have time. I'm so busy.
Sweat.
We've heard all the excuses, and guess what? We've had them too.
I gave the excuses. I was like the master of that.
We're so works. Good at self-sabotage in this day and age. It's awful. So like back to expectations, right? So if you're setting an expectation that I am going to do this like 1 hour every day hardcore, you're gonna fail. So maybe you can commit to starting small. Maybe you commit to walking for 10 minutes every day on your lunch hour. Maybe you commit to like going outside and playing with your kids every day, or going for a bike ride. If you have a stationary bike in your house, like hop on it while you're watching TV at night. It doesn't have to be like an intense thing. You just have to
we've
get
been
your heart
stuck
rate
inside.
up.
If you're where it's cold, you've been stuck inside most of the wintertime. Now with the weather getting warmer up, there's a part of you that's like longing to get outside and enjoy that warm weather right now.
Your body needs it. You need sunshine. You need fresh air.
Yeah.
Just get out and okay, so that leads into sleep. Getting enough sleep is crucial. And I was so guilty of not getting enough sleep for so many years. I went into adrenal fatigue, and mainly because I thought I could survive on 4 to 5 hours of sleep every night. Because when we're young, we think we're invincible, right? So here's the facts. If you have a teenager, and that's between the ages of 14 to 17, they need at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And the REM sleep that you get, that's a sleep, the deep sleep you get prior to midnight is the most important, okay? So if you're going to bed at midnight and you're like, but I'm getting 9 hours of sleep, it's still not as good as if you're going to bed at 10 or even, 10:30, something like that. Young adults, 18 to 25, and adults, so basically 18 to 64, we need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So I didn't think that was true. And then when I went into adrenal fatigue, I really made sleep a priority. So now I know I need 9 hours of sleep. If I don't get 9 hours of sleep, I just don't function right. So if I know I have to wake up early in the morning, then I'm going to bed earlier at night, and that is a priority for me. So please make this a priority for you and your kids. We fight with our kids about bedtime still to this day, every single night, and I'm like, listen, I'm the boss. As long as you live in my house, you're going to bed when I tell you. Even my teenagers, I make them give us their phones at night, not on the weekends, but through the week. We make them give us their phones by 10 p.m. and they have to go to bed. And they hate it.
I fought with my parents the same thing.
Yeah, so that's the other thing is if you're having a hard time sleeping, we have some stuff that can help. Okay, these are my 3 favorite oils. Cedarwood, I put that right on my chest and I rub that in. Cedarwood acts like melatonin on the brain, but it doesn't discontinue the natural production of melatonin in your brain, and it just helps you get calm and get sleepy. It's also in Stress Away, so if you have Stress Away, you can wear that too. Tranquil, we call it tranquilizer. So I wear all 3 of these. I put it behind my ears, little under my nose, I rub it along my collarbone, and I rub it in, and it smells so good. And then Peace and Calming is another really great oil. So you can use this for you can use it for your kids, and you can diffuse it. So you see the diffuser in the background? You can have a diffuser going in your bedroom, or you can just apply them to you. I like them strong and on me, so I just apply them to my skin. There's no wrong way to do it, just do it. But that is a tool that I use that really helps.
That's great background noise too, because it
the noise.
It's helpful at night.
We have a diffuser called, it's for kids, but it's actually really great. It has a sound machine in it, and it's called the Feather diffuser, and it's an owl. It's really cute. But it has 5 sounds in it, and so if you have trouble sleeping, it's great. You could have your diffuser going and have the sound on, and it's really helpful. Every night, I literally cannot get to bed unless I'm listening to a guided meditation. So I go into YouTube, You can get apps for your phone, but I love Bob Proctor's meditations, and so he's got some really good ones that also help with abundance and attraction of money and finances and like all the good things that I want. So I will put on his guided meditation. The one I'm listening to now is like 45 minutes. I'll post it in the comments. I turn off autoplay so that when it's done, it just turns off my phone. It doesn't go into the next video and wake me up. And I just turn that on, and literally within 5 minutes I'm asleep. Without that, it'll take me hours to fall asleep. So that's been my saving grace. Oils and meditation. He doesn't really have a hard time falling asleep. He just
I'm done. It's
passes
good.
out. And then when he snores, that keeps me awake. So I like to use an oil called Valor. I usually wake him up by dropping it on him. But and then
I think the last one here, like that we were going to talk about, is
reducing stress.
Yeah.
Okay, so I personally believe that most cancers and disease are created and brought to life in the body by the amount of stress that we have, and most of it can be avoided. It can be avoided.
This is, to me, this is all mental health. Trying to work on your mental health. There's so many things, because it can play such havoc on the body. If you don't deal with some of the stuff that's going on with your mental health, it will come out in your physical.
Yeah.
You know,
So don't talk about people. Worry about yourself. Honestly, don't watch the news. That like I don't do any of this stuff because it's just not good for your mental health.
Yeah, but if you got mental health issues, one of the biggest keys to beating it is communication.
Yeah, talk about it. Find somebody to talk to, either professionally or if you have a friend that you trust that you know is like committed to helping you. You know, because not everybody is, unfortunately, and that's just the day and age. So you might have a couple close friends that, you know, you can talk to openly about how you're feeling that will help you find a solution. Because I'm all about like, okay, complain for a couple minutes, tell me what's going on, and then that's it. Now let's look for a solution. So if you're coming to me, you better already have a solution in mind of what you want. I learned that from Gary, actually.
Yeah, but also too, there's good counselors out there that are like really on the lower end for pay that are going to help you out.
Oh, geared towards your income. Yeah. So there's, you know, you can find those in your area. You can look on websites, Google it, talk to people. There's probably people going to therapy that just don't talk about it because there's a lot of shame attached to that, which is unfortunate. But so meditation is a big one. We do guided. There's so many on YouTube. Just find somebody's voice that you like. Bob Proctor's great. Deepak Chopra is another one that we love. There's, what's the app that you use?
Calm.
No, that timer.
Oh, Insight Timer.
Insight Timer is another really good app. It's free. So find a hobby. Find something you enjoy doing that's not work, that you actually truly enjoy. So like, you know, maybe that's like, I don't know, for me, I love macrame. I love decorating our house.
I saw somebody the other day doing puzzles.
Oh yeah, puzzles.
You know, it's a good
crossword, something that keeps your brain busy, but that's kind of like you enjoy, but it's mindless almost, you know, and you're just like, you're enjoying yourself. You're having fun with it. Dancing is also another way that I, if I feel like crap, I turn on some music and I just dance, and I don't care who's looking. My kids think I'm nuts, but we dance a lot in our house. If you follow us, you can see that.
I've been doing earthing lately, which is really easy.
And it's honestly, there's a movie called The Earthing Movie on YouTube that I haven't watched it all yet. It's about just over an hour, and it goes through what it is and what it can do for your body. It can heal so many things in your body, and like when I'm done, I feel energized, I feel good, and it's just 2 to 5 minutes with your feet in the dirt.
Listen, the key thing about doing this is stay off your phone. Get out there.
Yeah, don't hold your phone when you're doing it.
Yeah, but just try and be present outside. Like listen to the sounds, listen to the birds.
Yeah.
You know, hear the cars going by, but don't really pay attention to it too much. And it's 2 to 5 minutes, and just get lost in nature out there for a bit.
If you are near and around snow, you can even do it in the snow, but minimum 2 minutes. And then in the summer, try to walk outside barefoot way more often, right? That's easier in the summer, but we've been doing it all winter, and it really does help. And then limit your time on social media. And like my job is social selling, and I still limit my time on here because it's a Debbie Downer. There's just too much complaining and there's too much negativity. So I just really, I go on Instagram more than I'm on Facebook because I can follow who I want, and I kind of can choose what I see, and I unfollow what I don't want to see. And so I'm finding information that makes me happy, and it's good. And we also try to produce information for you that's good and happy and helpful, you know, because we want you to feel good. That's the goal. So if you're struggling and you need help, or you have questions, and you want some guidance, and you want us to help you set up like a 90-day wellness plan, we are more than happy to do
Absolutely.
that. Because this is really important. It's made a massive change in our life, and we've kind of figured out how to do it.
Works.
And for any budget too, which is great. And so
Maybe you got something that you might want to suggest and put it in the comments.
yeah,
Like,
if there's something you're doing we
didn't
haven't
think
talked
of.
about, put it below. I mean, this is way longer than we wanted it to, but I wanted to get it out there. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. Feel free to share this with people. If there's something you're wanting to try that we talked about, then put it in the comments. Let us know, because I love getting
reach
your
out.
feedback. All right, have a good day.
Cheers. Drink your Ningxia.